What's up, YouTube? What's up, fight fans? What's up, everybody out there? Um, this one is about the Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, Geale fight, David Geale, whatever, from Australia. Yeah, okay. Before anybody thinks I'm a hater, this is your boy Lucky, the Love Boy, your favorite pro boxing vlogger, aka the People's Champ. Always keep it 1,000 with you, all that good stuff. I just watched the Triple G versus Geale Madison Square Garden fight. It's like really late or really early in the morning, depending on however you want to look at it. Okay. Now, this is how I look at it. Triple G is in my division. Well, technically was, whatever. He's a title holder. In the 160 division, this fight was at 168. So, he's moving up so he can possibly take bigger challenges. As a boxer and a fan of boxing, the way I look at fights is a little bit different than the average person. You know what I mean? I usually take a insider's look at it from a boxer standpoint. You know what I mean? From a business aspect, because you got to consider the money, and then I look at it from a fan standpoint. Sometimes you just want to be entertained. Sometimes, I like watching fights almost as much as I like participating in them. But Triple G is like the new boogeyman of boxing. You know what I mean? And the thing about boxing is, technically, boogeymen don't exist. When James Toney moved up and started looking all like, ridiculously strong as a heavyweight, and, he was barely built like that as a super middleweight or like a light heavyweight or whatever. You had to question it. And then when you questioned it and you dug deeper, he was on steroids. I think the same goes for our man Roy Jones. And he's a legend. I love him to death. I met him. He's the truth. He's a lot of things. But just in boxing, when it seems too good to be true, it usually is. When it seems too superhuman to be human, it usually is. When we questioned Pacquiao a few years back, or 4 years ago, he hasn't gotten a knockout since. He was walking through upper divisions of people who been damn near twice his size, or what it seemed to be anyway, as a grown man. People who were like 30, 40 pounds bigger than him, and then 50 pounds bigger than him just 2 years before that. They come down, they meet him somewhere in a regular fight weight, and he's just walking through them. People start questioning it. He hasn't gotten a knockout since. Not one. He's even been knocked out, but never got a knockout ever again. That's just boxing. You know what I mean? I was looking at Triple G like, oh man, this guy is boogeyman. Another one. You know what I mean? When George Foreman was out, George Foreman was the boogeyman, but when he got in there with another elite fighter who had a plan for him, he kind of got exposed. They said, okay, he's all strength, but he wasn't just a ridiculous specimen that made no sense. He was just a really, really strong country dude. And he was a heavyweight. So, heavyweights, there's almost like no limit to whatever strength you could bring because there's no limit to your weight. When it came to Mike Tyson, another specimen that was just ridiculously strong. But like I said, a heavyweight, but he was fast, he was strong. He was kind of short though. You know what I mean? He had an Achilles heel. If you had a really good chin like Holyfield and you could push him around and bully him, he couldn't really mess with you so much. Buster Douglas took the shots, rolled with it, pushed him around. People saw what it was, you know what I mean? He had something. Boogeymen in boxing just don't exist. There's always some kind of remedy for it. Or you're cheating. So the way I'm looking at Triple G right now, I'm looking at two things. He's yet to fight a superstar. He is the superstar every time he's fighting. I feel like when he fights a superstar, one of two things will happen. He'll finally be fighting someone who's not either coming off of a loss or an actual undefeated prospect, or if he fights a superstar, then they'll have enough pull and power to dig into the politics of whatever's going on. So the drug testing may be a little more strenuous. The checking his gloves might be a little more successful. You know what I mean? Like Mayweather did with Maidana. It's like, nigga, you're not fighting me with these, padless gloves, because just the amount of people who get cut when Triple G hits them, to me, is a little fishy. You know what I mean? I don't know. This time I think they said it might have been a headbutt. I didn't even see a headbutt. They didn't show it in the replay. So I don't know. But just, I mean, like I said, as a fan and as a boxer, you know what I mean? I look at these things and I take wonder, you know what I mean? I take notice. Golovkin does look like he punches with power, but I'll tell you honestly, it looks like about a good 90% of his shots look like arm punches, and arm punchers aren't usually the people who just break people apart. So, then again, you know what I mean? I'm just, putting my opinion out there. You feel free to respond. Feel free to let me know, whatever the case is, I mean, I've heard of people who spar with him. They say, he's a hard hitter. I've heard, some inside stuff. People say he's a hard hitter. Some people say, the gloves he's using, they're not regular gloves. That's why you never see him and his opponent fighting with the same exact gloves. His are always a little more customized, or just not the same. So, like I said, just let me know what you think. I think if he gets in the ring with a real superstar, some kind of exposure will happen. Either you'll see that, he's not fighting the people that he should be fighting, or some kind of political behind the scenes thing will happen where, like, Naseem Richardson caught Margarito putting plaster of Paris in his gloves and all that stuff. Like, like something behind the scenes I think will happen if he fights a superstar. But while he's fighting all these, technically, nobody fighters that are just road warriors and whatever. I feel like he has the pull, he has the money behind him, the money in his corner, and he can get away with whatever, and we won't see it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just YouTubing it as a fan and as a boxer, as a person between whatever. But you let me know how you feel. It's your boy Lucky, aka the lover boy, all that good stuff. The people's champ. How back? Oh yeah, don't be afraid to talk to me. I'll talk back later. Oh, still didn't click you off yet. My bad. There you go.